regulations from when we came, so 1991.
Next door, right next door. That where we still got. We get people every week.
Oh, that's out of Lake Forest.
Well, thank you. I'm Shirish. Nice to meet you.
Okay, now sit down.
Someone watches my personal
County tells city, city tells county. They just post each other and we are
County router.
no, tackle them down.
when it's convenient, they say, oh, county decided. When it's convenient, oh, county cannot decide, we decide.
You want to look at my report?
See? Big data comes with big counties. Definitely have big
Robert and Ben.
Once it retire from teaching, we start scribbling. We don't want it to put on my fingers. I'm still here at 5:30 every morning. Yeah, I can't. Yeah.
For Adrian.
Between 5:30 and 6. So much. 6:30, I'll make that work. Yeah.
He's here to represent public. And so since he's here, I'm going to say he's here and to help control.
You sure did. Look, you should burn your clothes.
But we're lucky it was you because you know more about
And then that changed. I was like,
He made me do it.
yeah, he said, get us to a plan.
I'm done. Well, I guess you asked Amy and Amy made me do it. You asked Amy and Amy made me do it.
She was voluntold.
I bet not to all of you.
No. Stevie did.
Well, good evening, everybody. Happy Independence Week. I'd like to call the July 1st, 2025 regular City Council meeting to order. Let the record reflect Council members Doug Serbo, Mark Tedmer, and Mayor Scott Voits are here. Votes will be this evening recorded using the city's electronic voting system. I'm calling this meeting to order. At this time, the City Council will convene to consider public matters. If you wish to speak, please fill out a blue speaker card and provide it to the city clerk. If you wish to submit any written materials, please provide those to the city clerk. They will be distributed to the City Council. As required by law, when speaking on an item listed on the agenda, limit your comments to the subject of the item. If you wish to speak on a subject not listed on the agenda, you may speak under public comments portion of the meeting. Finally, please address your comments to us, the City Council. Staff will not respond to questions, but only from the City Council, not from the public speakers. Invocation tonight will be by Sheriff Chaplain Mrs. Cummings. Thank you for coming, blessing our evening once again.
Would you please join me in prayer? Dear Heavenly Father, what an honor it is to come before you openly in prayer and to worship you according to each of our own faith traditions. To have the freedom we have in this country to be able to ask for your guidance, your wisdom, and your grace. As the matters on the upcoming agenda are considered here, may a spirit of gratitude, respect, and efficiency be evident. I thank you for the men and women that have been appointed to lead this city. May their intentions and dedication to the community issues before them be considered with great care and for the benefit of the greater good. May the community members that have chosen to be here this evening feel that their voices are heard and that their commitment to their city is valued. And as always, I ask for your divine hand of protection to be over all law enforcement and all first responders as they serve and protect the city of Lake Forest. I pray this in the precious name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. Blessings to you. Okay, that brings us to the Pledge of Allegiance. What a great week to come to pledge allegiance to the greatest symbol of freedom in the world. Please come up, Boy Scout Troop 628. Hi, guys.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Have a safe 4th of July. Thank you. You want to get a picture with us? Come on up. A special week for you guys to come say the Pledge of Allegiance for us here in the city of Lake Forest. And so thank you so much. Independence Day, this is the 249th year. Next year will be a special year, the 250th anniversary of our nation. So thank you, boys, and may you guys continue onwards all the way to get your Eagle Merit Badge. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
That brings us to presentations. Do I have a motion to consider presentations 1 through 4?
Second.
Okay, let's please cast our votes.
That motion passes with Councilmember Yu and Mayor Pro Tem Pequeño absent.
Thank you. Madam City Clerk, please read the title, item number 1.
Yes, the title of item number 1 is Proclamation Supporting Wildfire Awareness and Prevention Season.
Please, Madam City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to invite up our award-winning Division Chief, Mike Summers, from the Orange County Fire Authority to give some information about this proclamation.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, Council, and City staff. Thank you for the opportunity to accept the proclamation for wildfire awareness and prevention on behalf of the Orange County Fire Authority. Persistent drought, warmer temperatures, and severe winds have compounded threatening and devastating wildfire realities in California. This fire season, the Orange County Fire Authority has deployed several resources to combat wildfires plaguing California. To date, we've experienced several small wildfires within our community of Orange County. OCFA's goal is to help prevent wildfires and to mitigate the threat they pose to Orange County by working collaboratively with our communities to raise awareness through public education, emergency planning, and preemptive wildfire prevention strategies. Throughout this wildfire awareness and prevention season, the OCFA encourages our community to ensure they are wildfire ready by participating in the Ready, Set, Go program. 1, ready your home by clearing vegetation and combustible materials from your home. 2, have a disaster kit and a go bag and understand what to do as a wildfire approaches, such as closing windows, shutting off your air conditioning, and closing your garage door. And 3, have an established evacuation plan, know where to grab your disaster kit and go bag, and know when to evacuate. Additional information on the Ready, Set, Go program can be found at ocfa.org/RSG. Thank you.
Thank you. Orange County Fire Authority has done a wonderful job for the city of Lake Forest. Numerous times we've had brush fires come to the back walls of Foothill Ranch and Portola Hills, and never have we lost any dwelling. So the dedication and commitment of Orange County Fire Authority personnel is second to none, and we're honored to celebrate this and prepare our residents who are always in danger in the foothills because we have the canyons right behind those houses up there in those neighborhoods. So thank you for your service to the county. We are in good hands. And would you like to come up for a picture for a presentation? Yeah. Well, thank you for coming in and representing Orange County Fire Authority with us. I think I've never been short of words, but the fact is that Orange County Fire Authority is saved my life 35 years ago when I fell off a bridge overpass. So you guys do a remarkable job. So proclaiming this midsummer, early autumn 2025 wildfire awareness and prevention season. And thank you for the information you give to us. And then I'll just end it with this. I won't read all the whereases because there's too many. But now, therefore, be it resolved that the city of Lake Forest, California, does hereby proclaim the heightened wildfire season beginning in midsummer, running through early autumn as wildfire awareness and prevention season, and encourage everyone to do their part to raise public awareness, take steps to protect your homes, be prepared, and prevent sparkling a fire. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. Madam City Manager, please, Madam City Clerk, please read item number 2.
Thank you, Mayor. Before we move on, we do have a public comment for
Oh,
presentation item
I'm
number
sorry.
1.
Please, public comments.
Yes, and then that public commenter is Dana Silva.
First of all, Chief Summers, we're with you, with your brothers in Idaho, and the whole firefighting community during this tragedy and the aftermath of it. So we definitely feel this pain. Thank you. So I'm here basically to thank the city of Lake Forest for the amazing job that you guys did and the super fast job that you did. I was here June 3rd requesting the brush be cleared at Concourse Park. You guys basically have completed the brush removal that OCFA prescribed the day after that meeting. So we're thrilled. I know you probably have more to do. There's about a foot of, dry needles left over. I'm sure there's more work coming, but we just want you to know we're thrilled. I mean, this has been a long time coming, and we're super excited that that brush is removed from the 100 feet, from our homes. So thanks again. So last Wednesday night, I was sitting in a board meeting. I'm on the Portola Hills board, and I am part of the Firewise Committee. And as I was giving my report at our HOA meeting, there were some kids who were up behind the water tower lighting a fire. And this fire was on the ground. There was tinder all around it. It was, here and right where that pole is, there was like 36-inch tall mustard grass that was dead. 36 inches this way, there was a tall acacia that could have easily caught. So, when I got out of that board meeting and heard what was happening, I was so distraught, and the homeowners who saw it did a great job of calling. But since then, I'm getting all these emails and phone calls. I can't deal with it. I'm getting pictures of people's houses. I'm getting pictures of their kids. I'm like, whoa, I'm a teacher. Send that to the police. So I'm hoping that the correct people did that. But up in Portola Hills, we have a huge problem with fireworks this week, so we'd really like to request a police presence, if we can, in the evenings at Concourse Park, at least a drive-by or something. And we're working on getting people to attend your event on July 9th, so we're excited about that. And again, thank you so much for clearing that brush, and we look forward to seeing the planning plans and all that.
Thank you for being active in your neighborhood and actually having eyes and boots on the ground. It helps Orange County Fire Authority and us as a city so much. And so thank you. Thank you for coming in. Thank the Orange County Fire Authority and us because, they're the ones that fight the fires that come to your back walls.
Mayor, can I have a moment, please?
You may.
Yeah, good to see you again, Dana. Thanks very much for inviting me to one of your committee meetings and then having this vigilance and your passion for making sure that we stay safe, since I live in Portola Hills as well. And working with our staff, and just really want to give our staff the kudos for hopping on that so quickly to take care of that mitigation and clearing, the area there up at Concourse Park. So our appreciation for what you're doing there, and then having us involved as well to create this awareness. And I know Jonathan Volsky has reached out to you to mention the events that we're going to present both in Portola Hills and Foothill Ranch with dates coming up. So look to our website. We want people to understand that awareness is key, and being vigilant and seeing something and saying something is very important. And I've actually had conversations with our staff as well about other ways that we might be able to monitor some of this activity that is very dangerous in our community. So again, thank you very much for coming tonight again and your presence in our community to keep us safe. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. The best way to prevent a forest fire is to have your eyes and let us know and let authorities know. Thank you. Do we have any other speakers?
We do not.
Okay. Then, Madam City Clerk, please read the title, item number 2.
Item number 2 is new employee introductions.
Madam City Manager, I know you're proud of this, so please introduce the item.
All right, we have new employee introductions, and so I get to do this one myself. So I'm going to start by introducing Noah Lee. I don't believe Noah is here tonight, but he is our new recreation supervisor in the community center. He started as a part-timer here in Lake Forest in 2022, and he just earned his degree in kinesiology. And so now he is starting his career with us as a recreation professional, so we're really excited about that. Then our next person is Ziamara Solis. She is our assistant planner, and she was able to make it here with us tonight. She has interned with the City of Fontana and with the Southern California Associations of Government. And last year, Ziamara completed her master's in urban and regional planning from Cal State Polytechnic University, Pomona. So we have a lot of really good people down in community development, and Ziamara continues that tradition. She enjoys spending quality time with her family in her off time. And then we also have Erin Rodriguez, who I believe you have met through her service here during council meetings. She's here as well. She brings over 17 years of marketing experience in municipal government. She's spent the majority of her career in parks and recreation so far, both in northern Texas and here in Southern California. And so you will see her as an active part of our communications and marketing team, working here at council meetings, producing mayor's minutes, and all kinds of fun stuff. She holds a Bachelor's of Art in Communication Studies from Cal State University in Long Beach. And she enjoys exploring new places and spending quality time with her husband and 3 dogs. So welcome, Erin. Welcome, Ziamara. And Noah, if you're watching this, welcome to the city of Lake Forest. We're happy to have you.
Welcome. Welcome to the Lake Forest family. We're honored to have you. Madam City Clerk, do we have any requests to speak on this item?
We do not.
Okay. That brings us to item number 3. Madam City Clerk, please read item number 3.
Yes, the title of item number 3 is Citywide Branding Project.
Madam City Manager, please introduce the item.
Yes, tonight we have a
I
presentation.
see we have a sample.
We do. So we have a presentation tonight led by our assistant to the city manager, Nydia Ruelas.
Thank you, City Manager Rose. Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. Tonight I am joined by Jenny Wendell and Bailey Atkins from JPW Communications to provide this presentation on the Citywide Branding Project. Just to provide a little bit of the background on the initiative. The initiative originally was included in the city strategic plan as a hotel marketing campaign and was expanded to encompass the citywide effort to support broader economic development goals. It uses SEEP funds to clearly communicate the city's identity. And just as a note, the purpose of this initiative is not to replace the current logo. The existing logo that is prominently featured in existing monuments, park signs, and street signs would be kept as the city seal. So this initiative started with a significant research effort and included a significant amount of public input, of which is listed here. Notably, the biannual community satisfaction survey was a big part of this, where we received 712 responses. And that's, as a reminder, that is a statistically significant representation of the community. To highlight a little bit about the research that informed our branding effort, several commonalities emerged across different groups that we engaged. One of them was the theme of natural beauty, as well as a strong sense of community and well-managed growth. It was also very evident that there was regional differentiation in Lake Forest. Lake Forest is a hidden gem in Orange County where nature is a defining part of life. Tree groves, parks, trails, and the proximity to the Saddleback Mountains were very prominent in the responses that we heard. In addition, certain opportunities arose in the research. While there are mixed feelings about the current visual identity, some find it outdated or disconnected from the city's character. Residents also expressed a desire to preserve the city's charm and visual appeal as it grows and evolves. So in addition to that, certain visual elements were consistently brought in this research effort. And so what emerged was a palette of green, blue, and gold and brown, and that was pretty consistent. Also the symbol of the Saddleback Mountains, as well as trees and nature. Lakes took a backseat to these other motifs, and but there's still that overall nature motif and feel. A few of the key takeaways. The research points to an opportunity for the city to develop a brand that authentically captures its essence while providing a platform for continued evolution by acknowledging the position of the city as a hidden gem in Orange County, celebrating natural beauty and community spirit, embodying the landscape elements that residents value, so those would be the Saddleback Mountains and nature in its many forms, like trees, parks, trails, etc., and embracing the palette of green, blue, gold, and brown. So with that, I'll turn it over to Jenny.
Thanks, Nydia. We're thrilled to be here tonight to share the city's creative direction for the new brand, a direction that has been built entirely on research, community input, and the strategy you just heard outlined. Before we dive into the visuals, I want to walk you through the foundation of the brand, which is the brand narrative. A brand narrative is not just a description, it's really the heartbeat of a brand. It tells the story of who Lake Forest is, what it values, and where it's headed. It shapes how the city presents itself to the world and gives meaning to the visuals, tone, and messages that follow. So here's the brand narrative we developed for Lake Forest. Lake Forest growth has been deliberate and metered, and it's worthy of attention and recognition. This concept honors the past and clears a path for the future. It leans into Lake Forest's natural beauty while taking a confident step forward to illustrate that the winds are at the back of Lake Forest. It has seamless connection points to the existing seal, but encourages boldness and innovation to set it apart from its neighbors. Moreover, this concept is a call to regional residents and business owners to uncover all that Lake Forest has to offer. In the end, it will illustrate that Lake Forest is the natural setting for greatness in Orange County. So that brand narrative is the foundation of the brand, and from that we crafted a tagline that captures its essence in just 2 words, and that is naturally exceptional. It's simple but powerful, and it reflects Lake Forest's beautiful setting and authentic character, but also makes a bold statement about the community's quality, ambition, and pride. With that foundation in place, we moved into the creative brief, which is the roadmap that guided the design process. So you're probably getting a theme here that we're layering this on for you. And I think we need to maybe go back to that creative objective one. So our objectives were clear at this point. First, we wanted to show that Lake Forest has grown up. The city's no longer emerging, it's established and thriving, ready to stand shoulder to shoulder with its neighbors. Second, we wanted to celebrate the city's thoughtful, purposeful development and reflect the community's distinct personality. Third, we wanted to elevate Lake Forest's reputation among guests, business owners, and surrounding cities. Fourth, we wanted to clearly differentiate Lake Forest from other cities with the same name, especially those outside of California. And last, but certainly not least, create a logo that reflects the city's maturity, energy, and natural beauty, something modern, memorable, and meaningful. So with that, I'll turn things over to Bailey, who will reveal the new logo and walk us through how it brings the narrative to life.
Hello. Now, without further ado, we present you with the new brand. So I'll walk you through a little bit about what this encompasses. The Lake Forest logo features a customized typeface that's designed to be both organic and distinguished. By joining the A and the K letter forms, the typography elegantly references the silhouette of the Saddleback Mountains that the community members associate with Lake Forest. You'll notice upward tilts in the crossbars of the letters that have a branch-like quality that links the type to the visual mark above. The visual mark depicts a cropped-in view of wood grain with several leaves unfurling from the mark's border. And by zooming in on the wood grain pattern and leaves, the mark focuses on the idea of bold, healthy, organic growth. The border neatly frames these organic lines in a way that feels intentional, well-planned, and modern, which speaks to the stewardship of Lake Forest growth. You'll notice a monogram version retaining the mountain element for use in smaller spaces, social media, apparel, and other digital applications. You'll see the color palette is rooted in green, blue, and gold, directly drawn from the residents' input in the local landscape. The custom wood grain texture reinforces that natural theme, nodding to the city's tree motif without anchoring it in a single species. This element also subtly echoes the character of City Hall and local neighborhood street names. Having a lockup with California, as you'll see in the lower right-hand corner, will also help ensure distinction from other Lake Forest locations. And on this slide, you'll see the single color lockups. I can go to the next one. And here you'll see an example of some apparel mock-ups just to help you visualize how this could come to life. Now I will turn it back over to Nydia.
Thank you. So just to cover what the next steps would entail, they would entail the transition and launch of the brand on social media and across departments, including a public education campaign. Also, at the July 15th City Council meeting, there will be the opportunity to discuss brand implementation, including items such as street banners, signage throughout the city, and special events. This concludes our presentation. We're happy to answer any questions.
First of all, do we have anybody from the public that would like to speak?
No, we do not, Mayor.
Okay, bring it back to council. Councilman Serbo.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation and the countless hours, I guess, putting this behind the scenes to develop this with feedback and getting information and ideas from different people in our community and putting this together. So after 30 plus years as an identity of Lake Forest, I had the opportunity to speak to a business person over the weekend, and my wife is very good about asking people about, well, where do you live? He goes, well, I live in Baker Ranch. And she said, well, how long have you been there? Oh, we moved here last year from Las Vegas. And she asked, well, why did you choose Lake Forest? He says, well, we looked at some different cities in Orange County, and when we looked at Lake Forest, there was something about the community vibe, the feel, the amenities, the value. And so for us to do this rebranding project, I think is really just going to help, set us in the next years and decades, to come, with that, so people can see right away and understand, what the value is of living here, having a business here, and having fun. So thank you very much for the work that you've done on putting this brand together for us. Appreciate it. Thank you.
So, not only did you do public input, you actually interviewed all of us as council members. And as I look at it, I look at your marketing, exceptional. I mean, when you look at it, it really is exceptional. It's funny that just before the interviews with council members, my daughter was looking at something with City of Lake Forest on it. She says, Dad, you guys need to upgrade your logo. And it wasn't long after that I was being interviewed by your staff. And so I want to say that you guys did an exceptional job for us, and it's going to last for many years and actually help put us on the map. We have now 13 hotels. 13 hotels. We got an incoming Costco. We've got so much going on outside of bringing people into Lake Forest. I think that as a marketing tool, I think this is going to do exceptionally for us. And so I want to say thank you for your hard work. Thank you for your dedication, and beautiful job. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nothing further. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Okay, that brings us to number 4. Madam City Clerk, could you please read the item?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. The title of item number 4 is Taste of Lake Forest.
Madam City Manager, please introduce the item.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to invite our Economic Development and Housing Manager, Adrian Grijalva, up to the podium to give us an update on the Taste of Lake Forest.
Now, Adrian, it's your job to use this logo more than all of us.
You got it.
All right.
Thank you, City Manager Rose. Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. Tonight I have a very brief presentation regarding the return of the Taste of Lake Forest for 2025. From 2011 to 2019, the Taste of Lake Forest was an annual event held in the parking lot up at the Foothill Ranch Town Center food court. The Taste returned last year at Heritage Hill Historical Park, and the event serves as a platform for local restaurants to showcase their cuisine and for the community to experience the diverse flavors that Lake Forest has to offer. The event is co-hosted by the Lake Forest Chamber of Commerce and sponsored by the Orange County 3rd District Supervisor Donald P. Wagner's office and Orange County Parks. Further sponsorship opportunities are available, and the application can be found at the event's webpage. The Taste of Lake Forest will return once again on Friday, August 15th at Heritage Hill Historical Park. The event will be from 4 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. The event will feature up to 28 local restaurants to sample from, a beer and wine garden, and live music from The Trip. And now for the exciting stuff, I'll get into who we have signed up thus far. We are excited to preview a list of restaurants currently set to participate in this year's event. They include A Little Something Sweet, Aroma Pizza and Pasta, Board and Brew, Boba Bee, Bolista, Brizio Italian Kitchen, Cafe Rio, Crimson Coward, Crumble Cookies, Inca Mamas, Kebab Planet, La Tia Tacos, Mamon, Morena's, Pete's Coffee, Presto Tea, Sunny Dumpling House, Taste, Teriyaki Madness, Yubapshi, Uma's Korean Barbecue, and Urban Grill and Wine Bar. The event will be restricted for those who are 18 and older. Tickets are $50 per person and can be bought at tasteoflf.com or by clicking on the ticket portal button or by scanning the QR code on screen. Event planning is ongoing and staff will continue to return at future meeting dates to provide updates. That concludes my presentation.
Do we have anybody from the public to speak?
We do not.
Okay, bring it back to council. Okay, Councilman Serbo.
Thank you, Mayor. Adrian, I want to see if you can confirm the rumor that with all these great restaurants that are going to be new ones I see on the list that I'm really excited about, that we won't be allowed to bring grocery carts and doggy bags for anything we can need to take home. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, good. I just wanted to put an end to that rumor, but thank you very much for the presentation. I'm looking forward to this again on August 15th.
So of all the 28 vendors, do we have room for any more?
We currently are at 24 vendors, so we're working on our final 4. We have a couple applications that are pending, just waiting for final documents from those businesses.
Okay, now Marino's, this is their first entry into the Taste of Lake Forest, correct?
That is correct.
Yeah, I'm excited that, obviously they're a great location and introduce themselves to all those cars that are driving up and down Lake Forest Drive. What's the $50? Do they get tickets to go sample the food?
So the way that we're going to do it this year is $50 will get you entry fee into the event, and then you'll be able to go to each booth and get a sample at each booth. What we found is when we issue tickets, it's very troublesome for restaurants to grab the tickets and either put an X through them if we hand them some sort of a booklet, or if we hand them, individual tickets. So we're just going to kind of do the honor system, tell everybody, hey, it's one taste per participating restaurant.
And alcohol sales, obviously, it's 21 and over, so alcohol sales will be,
That'll be separate. That'll be handled by the Lake Forest Chamber.
okay. And then also, one last thing, who's the band again?
The Trip.
The Trip. That's not who played last year.
That's correct. Different band.
All right. Well, I'm excited. It's going to be a great venue. Heritage Hill worked out well last year, even though we had some questions about the crowds, but it worked out. The flow was beautiful. I think it's much better than the asphalt parking lot of Foothill Ranch Town Center. So thank you for all your hard work, and I hope to see everybody out on August 15th at the Taste of Lake Forest, trying the wonderful food of Lake Forest. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, that brings us to public comments. If you'd like to make a comment, please fill out a blue speaker card and give it to the city clerk, and your name will be called. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per person. The council and staff will not respond to questions or comments during the public comment period. If you leave your contact information, staff will contact you to address the issues raised in your comments. When you are called to speak, come to the podium. Your 3 minutes will begin when the green light is on. The green light will remain on for 2 minutes. When the light changes from green to yellow, speakers have 1 minute left to conclude their comments. When the light changes from yellow to red, please conclude your thoughts and return to your seats. A timer will not be displayed on the screen. Madam Clerk, have we received any public comments?
Yes, we have, Mayor. We have 3 general public commenters tonight, and our first public commenter is Sharish Shah.
Thank you very much.
Good evening.
I've been part of Lake Forest for many, many years now. I moved here in 1991. That's when I bought my property. From a gentleman who was running a landscaping business across from Cook's Corner. I had learned that he had to get out because some people in the canyon were against his high traffic. At the time, the property was part of Orange County's unincorporated area. My building was approximately 1,400 square feet. We are allowed 7,000 square feet of building in the commercial part, plus 5 homes in the upper portion, which is zone residential. Around 2004, I wanted to add a small building about 1,000 square feet to the commercial portion of the building. I was told that they would not let me construct that unless they had a complete development plan. So I had an architect, Mr. Klaus Barre, drew up the complete plan for 7,000 square feet. I went to the city for a hearing at the Planning Commission, and they approved the plan. Near the end of the hearing, one commissioner even asked, why is this parcel of 18 acres limited to only 7,000 square feet? Anyway, around 2005, I did not have resources to construct the building. Now, for the last 5 years, I've been trying to get the construction permit and separate the residential portion. At the meetings, my new architect, Ryan Odom, civil engineers, and several staff members from the city were present. Since 2005, that we must work with the planning department have changed 3 to 4 times. But Mrs. Gail Ackerman has been, not at every meeting, but there all the time. There are staff, the traffic engineers, and others. They put several conditions on the development and separating the residential portion, even separating the residential portion from the commercial portion of the parcel. They take their time to examine the items submitted by my architect and civil engineers, and then they say the reports were submitted are too old. So we have to apply with new reports. The planner suggested that we are better off selling the land to a large developer who can afford to spend more money. So now we are trying to sell the parcel, get out of the property, and every buyer that approaches the city is discouraged. I had my general manager write to the mayor's office, thank you, and they arranged a meeting with the city managers. Thank you, Rose.
So we're going to need to conclude your comments.
Anyway, one more sentence. I had arranged for a meeting with the city manager's office. During the meeting, they repeated the same things, like the blue water stream, and so there is not a drop of water in the stream. But anyway, and the next property is developed to the fullest extent. I do not know what to do. Next property is in part of unincorporated
Well, you're
area
going to
of
have
the
to
county.
work through city staff, and your contact information is on the blue card, correct?
Yes.
I'll talk to staff about what's going on there too. So I want to say thank you for coming and good luck with that. Obviously, when we have city permits pulled, they have a sunset time on them. They're only good for so long. So we'll hopefully try to help you as much as we can. And so thank you for coming and letting us know.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our next public commenter is Sandy Shaw.
Thank you so much for listening to me. This is the same property I'm going to be talking about because he just told you the background of it. We were forced to sell this building, this property by Marie Luna. She's retired now. And she told us several times that sell this property to big builder because they have big pockets. And you cannot afford what city will be asking you to do. And we were discouraged that we want to be, me and my husband, we both are engineers, and we are running our business. And since 1991, and second business, we have two properties here. And one is second business we are running since 1997. And the treatment we got was really discouraging. Every time we go to the city, they would tell us, bring us all these things, and we were back to zero. We were patiently working with it. We spent $200,000 plus getting them all the reports, getting the civil engineer involved, paying the city fees, and we were nowhere. Every time there was nothing done. And we were asking for a meeting with you. And every time the most meeting we got was Ms. Gail. They were never allowed to talk to you. I don't know why. So finally I wrote an email to Mrs. Amy, and she gave me the link to get your email address. And that's where I included every member of council and yourself to help us. We were losing our business. We had no space. We were renting containers to store our equipment. That was our condition. And after COVID, we are suffering. We were forced to buy a building outside because we cannot run business anymore. And now our payment for that building is so high that we have to sell this land. And every customer is coming. Your city members are telling them this land is useless. You cannot develop anything. Any zone change, it will require 5 years of your time. And they are telling us there are only 3 zones are allowed. How is possible? There are a million businesses in the world. Only 3 zones are allowed? What kind of rule is that? So we are it's very hard for us that we are suffering. We cannot make the payments, and we need to sell this property to make the payment to other property. So we request you to help us out because we are helpless. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We'll discuss it with staff. Thank you so much for coming and sharing. Do we have any other public speakers?
Yes, we do. We have one last public speaker.
You got their contact information, correct?
We do, yes. So our last public speaker is Brian McMillan.
Good evening. A few months ago, a Lake Forest resident referred to my lawsuit against the city and asked the question of the mayor and council, right here. How can you let this happen? I would like to answer that question for you. It happened because the city's persistent, intentional indifference to corruption and incompetence by city officials. I use the word corruption because that's abuse of authority. That's one of the components of corruption. I stood here last year, right here, asking for your help in removing a business from my property who had been accused of prostitution. I stood here again last year, giving you notice that I had been unlawfully cited for running an illegal business as well as exposing my breast. These citations caused me profound financial losses, essentially depriving me of my livelihood. At the time, Councilman Tedimer promised that he would look into it. Nothing. And again, the council and the city manager have intentionally disregarded and ignored my requests. As you know, a landlord has no authority to remove illegal businesses who violate licensing and permit ordinances. The only way to remove illicit businesses is for the Code Enforcement Department to do its job. That is, they need to follow Lake Forest City policies and to enforce the City of Lake Forest's ordinances. The Code Enforcement Department has done nothing. I respectfully request that this council to instruct the city manager to ask the Code Enforcement Department to follow the procedures that are prescribed not only in the website, but in the actual city ordinances. The Code Enforcement Department is ignoring city ordinances, and I'm suffering as a result. I have to put up with these illicit businesses because they are not doing anything. I'll be attending future meetings. I'll be giving updates. I hope the news is better. And you know how to contact me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments.
That's it, Mayor.
That's it? Well, that brings us to the consent calendar. All matters listed under the City Council consent calendar are considered routine and will be enacted by one vote. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless members of the City Council or staff request specific items to be removed from the consent calendar for separate action. Have there been any requests to remove from the consent calendar?
There have been none, Mayor.
Okay. Council? I'll entertain a motion. And then I'll call for the vote.
And that motion passes 3-0 with Councilmember Yu and Mayor Pro Tem Pequeño absent.
And then I did ask you, was there any public comments for the consent calendar?
You did ask, and we don't.
Okay, City Council public hearing. Okay, I'm going to move the City Council public hearing. Madam City Clerk, please read the title of item number 10.
Thank you, Mayor. If you wouldn't mind also opening the public hearing item.
Okay, I will start the public hearing.
Thank you. The title of item number 10 is General Plan Amendment to reflect changes to the Orange County Master Plan of Arterial Highways.
Madam City Manager, please introduce the item.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to invite our senior planner, Jennifer Manser, up to the podium to provide an overview of this item.
Good evening, Mayor Voights and council members. This item tonight is a general plan amendment related to approved amendments to the Orange County Master Plan of Arterial Highways. The Master Plan of Arterial Highways is a plan of all the arterial road systems throughout Orange County and helps coordinate road system planning across all the jurisdictions in Orange County. The Orange County Transportation Authority, or OCTA, maintains the plan and is responsible for reviewing and approving all requests for amendments. Last year, the County of Orange proposed an amendment to the plan to reclassify portions of El Toro Road and Santiago Canyon Road as shown on the screen. El Toro Road and Santiago Canyon Road meander between multiple jurisdictions, including Lake Forest, Mission Viejo, and the unincorporated county. Previously, the plan showed this segment of road being widened in the future. However, based on traffic analysis by OCTA staff, the 2050 forecasted daily vehicle trips did not warrant widening of the system. As such, the county's amendment downgraded the size of this road segment. This amendment was reviewed by Public Works directors of both Lake Forest and Mission Viejo, who consented to the proposed amendments. Last year, OCTA approved these amendments. However, the approval of the amendments is contingent upon all affected general plans being updated. The amendments to the master plan triggered modifications to Figure M1, which is the mobility network map in the city's general plan. This map is a map of the city's roadway system and displays the classification for each road. Two sections of El Toro Road that were part of the amendment are within the jurisdiction of Lake Forest. These two areas are circled on the excerpt from the mobility network figure on the screen. The revisions to the map would modify these two sections of El Toro Road from a 6-lane major arterial to a 4 to 5 lane primary arterial. The proposed downgrade of the roadway classification is consistent with the current built configuration of El Toro Road, which is a 4 to 5 lane divided highway. This general plan amendment was reviewed by our Planning Commission at their June 5th Planning Commission meeting, and they adopted a resolution recommending City Council approval of the amendment. The City Council's draft resolution includes an exhibit with the mobility network figure that includes these revisions. That concludes my presentation, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have. We also have our traffic engineer, Tran here, in case you have any traffic-related questions.
Okay, we'll be right back to you. Do we have any public speakers for this item?
We do not, Mayor.
Okay, council, any questions? My only question is, the road widening on El Toro Road has been put off for now?
Yeah, so the future, they'd always talked about in the future doing it at some point, and so this would take that off the table, yeah.
So this is kind of an easy one. So I'm going to close the public hearing, and I'm going to ask my city council for a first and a second. This should be an easy one, a resolution for the city council to adopt or amend our general plan update as staff recommends.
Move staff recommendation. Second.
Okay, please cast your votes. Thank you.
And that motion passes 3-0 with Councilmember Yu and Mayor Pro Tem Pequeño absent.
Okay, that brings us to discussion items. Madam City Clerk, please read the title of item number 11.
Yes, the title of item number 11 is Strategic Plan Quarterly Update.
Okay, Madam City Manager, please introduce our strategic plan.
Our strategic plan update will be provided by our assistant to the city manager, Nydia Ruelas.
Thank you. Good evening again, Mayor and members of the City Council. So this is a quarterly update on the progress completed so far on the city strategic plan. As a reminder, the plan cycle and review started with the strategic plan adoption in June 20th of 2023. And this is the final update on that current cycle as we adopted a new strategic plan with the budget on June 3rd. And we will be highlighting major project completions and milestones for the quarter starting April 1st through the end of June. We track the strategic plan from two perspectives. First, we track initiatives based on overall progress. Out of the 80 initiatives in the implementation matrix for the strategic plan, 66 or 82.5% of those initiatives have been completed or reached substantial progress. And about 14 have not been started or are in transition. Most of those, or all of those, I should say, have moved into the new strategic plan that was adopted on June 3rd. We also track progress in the plan from a goal perspective. So for Goal A, we've been able to complete 26 projects so far. For Goal B, we completed all 10 projects under that goal. And then for Goal C, we've completed 16 projects. So under Goal A, which is our livable city is well-planned, attractive, and safe, we're highlighting 3 initiatives completed. The first one is the shopping center study, followed by the noise ordinance update and the emergency notification strategy. Under Goal B, to highlight for the goal of our connected city is engaged, informed, and technologically current. We completed the modernization of our marketing tools. And for Goal C, our healthy city government is sustainable and well-run with committed people. We completed 4 initiatives: the Microsoft 365 integration, the general fund risk reserve policy update, and the evaluation of the housing authority elimination, as well as the law enforcement staffing needs evaluation. So just to highlight a few of these initiatives that were completed this cycle. Strategic Plan Initiative 14, the shopping center study. In May 2025, the study report was completed and presented before the City Council. The resulting recommended strategies of that study included hiring a broker, implementing citywide branding, and launching a Lake Forest Flavors campaign, all of which are in the new strategic plan that was adopted on June 3rd. So you'll be able to look forward for updates on that. And then we also had Strategic Plan Initiative 26, the noise ordinance update, and that had came to before council at a public hearing on May 6th of 2025, and then on May 20th, the ordinance was updated and approved. All this update included updates to the municipal code as well as the general plan to ensure that there's clarity and consistency in noise standards and improve the city's ability to address noise concerns. Also under Goal A, we completed the emergency notification strategy, which involved launching a campaign to increase signups for the city's emergency notification system, Nixle. In addition to that, there was a mass mailing campaign to include information about residents' evacuation zones in order to improve our preparedness amongst the community. Under Goal C, highlighting Strategic Plan Initiative 68, the General Fund Risk Reserve Policy Update, which was completed in June 3rd with the adoption of the 2025-2027 budget. And then also the completion of Strategic Plan Initiative 73, the evaluation of the housing authority elimination. That report was presented to the audit committee in May with the determination that it was not possible to dissolve the housing authority under current regulations. Finally, we also under Goal C is Strategic Plan Initiative 80. So the Public Safety Ad Hoc Committee assessed staffing needs and helped come up with the staffing needs evaluation framework. And that methodology was presented at the May 20th, 2025 City Council meeting. And the new law enforcement agreement for fiscal year 25-26, with recommendations supported through the evaluation, was approved at that same meeting and included the adding of 1 deputy each year over the next 2 fiscal years. This concludes tonight's update. I'd be happy to address any questions at this time.
Okay, thank you for the update. And do we have any public comments?
We do not, Mayor.
Bring it back to City Council. Okay, Councilman Serbo.
Thank you. So maybe we could create an incentive for people who want to overbuy on the Taste of Lake Forest and they can't get in unless they know their evacuation zone. Can we do that? No, I'm just kidding. Thanks for the presentation and the update for the quarterly strategic update. Appreciate that. So just try to be creative on different things to get people down these things that are important for them to know. So my zone is 4 for anybody that cares about that thing. So I know mine, but now we ask everybody else.
Yes, great presentation. Obviously, kind of goes back to our new logo that we're a well-planned, well-run, and strategically placed and city, because there's always, as Councilman Servo says, there's always room for improvement. And thank you, staff, for always looking for that edge and making us a better city. Thank you. That's just an update, so receive and file. So that brings us to city item number 12. Madam City Clerk, please read the title of item number 12.
Yes, the title of item number 12 is Legislative and Regulatory Matters.
Okay, Madam City Manager, please introduce the item.
All right, we have our legislative update, and that will also be provided by our assistant to the city manager, Nydia Ruelas.
Thank you.
Wow, Nydia, you're on deck again?
Yes, once again. Thank you. And tonight's presentation is an item that was continued from the May 6th meeting, and it encompasses legislative and regulatory matters. So to provide the general background, the City Council approved a 2-year platform on January 7th, 2025, and staff generate position letters for the mayor to sign based on the platform and feedback received from the legislative ad hoc. So June 6th was the last day for each house to pass bills that were introduced in each respective house. And then July 18th is when summer recess begins. Also of note, if another agency has taken a position on any of these bills, so we track agencies like Cal Cities, the ACCOC, as well as other regional agencies. If they have taken positions on any bills that we're talking about tonight, that was noted in the staff report. And just to be clear, that the bills that we're presenting tonight are ones that don't necessarily neatly fall under the general direction that we have in the legislative platform. So that's why we bring them before council. The following bills are grouped for review based on issue area. So in light of recent emergency situations across the state, the California legislature introduced several measures to address emergency and disaster management. The California FAIR Plan, established to meet the needs of California homeowners unable to obtain insurance in the traditional marketplace, is considered a temporary safety net until coverage offered by a traditional provider becomes available. AB 226 would approve bond issuance to ensure the continued financial stability of the FAIR Plan, which is often a last resort for residents in hazardous areas to obtain insurance. And so staff recommends supporting that measure. Next, we have bills that would impact local control on topics related to housing and community development. First up is AB 650, which treats with allowing local governments to update their housing element early and requiring HCD to provide specific feedback and ensure local governments can access that feedback to avoid penalties. And so staff recommends supporting that to ensure that the city can avoid any penalties and address any feedback in a timely manner. Next, we have AB 874, which would require the city to waive mitigation fees for developments that include affordable housing, diminishing local control over city decisions. We also have AB 1206, which would restrict local control by requiring jurisdictions to develop a pre-approval program for single and multifamily housing plans to allow for ministerial approval of these developments, again, restricting local control. So for those two bills, staff recommend opposing AB 874 and AB 1206. And lastly, on this topic is AB 609, which would provide reforms to CEQA that would exempt certain infill housing projects from CEQA and make the project process more efficient for these types of projects. Therefore, staff recommends supporting that measure. Next, we have recovery housing regulations, which would clarify requirements and improve communication and investigation practices. So SB 35 and SB 329 both deal with timelines for investigations, specifically providing timelines for investigating unlicensed treatment facilities and requiring timely investigations into complaints. AB 424 requires the Department of Healthcare Services to provide a response to complaints in a timely manner. Currently, a PRA is required to obtain a response and/or a follow-up for a complaint. And then lastly, we have AB 492, which requires the Department of Healthcare Services to notify local governments when approving new licenses for drug and treatment facilities. So for all these regulations, staff recommend supporting these 4 bills.
Is that your final?
One more. Lastly, these 3 bills regarding transportation aim to improve e-bike safety by regulating visibility, e-bike speed, and access. AB 544 requires e-bikes to have a red rear reflector light visible from 500 feet. And then AB 545 bans the sale of applications designed to modify speed capabilities of e-bikes so that they no longer comply with the definition of what an e-bike is. And lastly, AB 965 bans the sale of Class 3 e-bikes to individuals 16 years or younger. And staff recommends supporting all 3 measures. This concludes my presentation. The recommended actions tonight are to receive and file this report and adopt positions recommended by staff on various legislation that may impact the city of Lake Forest. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Councilman Servo.
Thanks for the update, Nydia. A couple quick questions. Can you remind me again who's on the legislative ad hoc for us, please?
Yes, it is Mayor Scott Voits and Councilmember Mark Tenemer.
Okay. And are all of these bills going to be voted on at the same time?
In the legislature,
Yeah.
it depends on when they're brought forward, but I believe we'll be seeing those come forward in the next few weeks. Yeah.
Okay, and I guess I could probably look these up on my own, but it would be possible with this list, can we get an update that says, okay, we supported it and it passed that way, or it lost out? Because I know we work with ACCOC and California League of Cities and our Mr. City Attorney. How much involvement do you have in terms of help guiding, any of these kind of supports or oppositions? Not at all. Shaking his head. Okay. All right.
We can provide that report.
Okay, great, appreciate it. Just kind of see what the success is and how we align with what we're opposing or supporting and how that actually ultimately comes out with that same list. So maybe it'd just be like the quarterly update, we have an update on how these bills either passed or one way or the other. Thank you.
Councilman Tenemer.
If I may.
Wait, did I ask if there was any public comments on this one? Was there any public comments on this item?
There are none, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Tenemer.
Thank you very much. Seems like these probably all come to a close toward the end of the session. And if I could just make a suggestion that maybe soon after that one or the next update afterward, we could get that sort of final scorecard of what positions or what bills we considered, what positions we took, and what their disposition was. It may also be helpful to find out how our representatives voted on those matters as well. So that way we get a complete picture of the positions taken by our assembly member, senator, or at the federal level as well. But I'm thinking it could be a once a year after the end of the sessions, but I'll look at the city manager and that.
Yeah, all of these bills may get voted on at different times, but they all have to meet the same deadlines. And there are some key deadlines, like Nydia mentioned, some bills have to get out of their house of origin by a certain date. So there are key times we can give you those updates and how the votes went.
But if I could, I presume you're trying to understand the finish of it.
Yes.
Because it can go through a committee and never
Right,
go
I
any
think-
further.
exactly.
And so do we want updates on committee, or do you want to just know that was signed by the governor, it's law, and here's what it was? If that's what, yeah, so I think just one maybe at the
end.
the finish
Sure.
line, so to speak, just an annual wrap-up seems to make sense, if that's what you're looking for. Yeah. If I may?
You may.
Thank you. So there's one I didn't see in our staff report, and I'm wondering if I want to be clear on what we voted on, because I don't see it in our staff report. Maybe I missed it, but I see it in the slide. And it's AB 874. So I'm wondering if we vote to approve it, can we approve it without 874, which is shown in the slide but not in the staff report? unless I'm missing it. And if I am, please.
It might be just in a slightly different order.
Oh, okay.
I believe, yeah.
It's the third one that you read, Alf, but it's third down. As Nydia, it was the third one she presented.
On the slide, yes. What I'm saying is I don't see it in the staff report.
It could be added to the motion since it's not in the staff report.
Right, well, I guess I don't know the other, I mean, I appreciate your summary, but I don't know ACCO's position or anybody else's position, so I feel like unless it's time sensitive, if we could just bring that back just so we can see the complete story of that particular bill.
Yeah. Just for that one in particular?
Just that one, because I don't have the same summary that you have in the staff report. I don't see that, so I don't know the various entities and positions they've taken and whatnot.
Yeah, we can bring that back.
Okay. And then also, I know we received notifications from Cal Cities regarding SB 16, and they're looking for a call to action in terms of letter campaign. I think it was Blakespeare bill.
Yes.
I'm not sure if we could maybe bring that back at the same time, if that's still relevant, and maybe, Mayor, I don't know for sure.
I don't think they voted on it. I think she's still looking for support.
Or we may have opposition, depending on our position. I guess what I'm saying is, if we can bring those two back together, and we can look at both.
Certainly.
Okay.
Okay, you did bring up the fact that we wanted a report back. This is probably one of the easiest ones that would come back to us, because many of these deal with local control and tightening up the regulations on rehab housing and e-bikes. It's something that e-bikes, everybody's thinking that these e-bikes have gone crazy. Well, the state's noticed, and they're trying to tighten this up to actually help our law enforcement actually keep those young people that are using e-bikes safe. So I'm glad that they're tightening these up. Sometimes they come up with crazy ideas up in Sacramento and don't really think it all the way through, but they've come around and they're trying to tighten these up. And so I'm good with all staff recommendations. Thank you so much for your hard work and diligence in looking these up. One of the other ones that we look at is Orange County Business Council, along with California Cities, ACC, Association of California Cities, Orange County. We look at some of these to actually kind of get a guide of where the other agencies are. And obviously, some we don't always support, but the fact is that these cities and these organizations, California Cities, ACCOC, are looking at the bigger picture and actually have a good pulse on what the other cities need and what they are complaining about. And e-bikes has been one of the biggest complaints in California, not only here in Orange County, but in all the cities, because the fact is they allow these young people to go out there without many rules and regulations, and our law enforcement are the ones that are trying to rein them in. But the fact, anything we can do to tighten it up to where makes it safer for them, makes it safer for the commuter, the drivers. I'm good with all the staff recommendations on these ones, and so this is only receiving files, so you don't need a motion?
You could do. You do.
You do? And I'll take a motion.
Well, Mayor, I was going to say, it sounded like you had a motion there to approve.
I'll make a motion.
And I'll happily second it.
Staff recommendation.
And I will second it.
Okay, please cast your votes.
And that motion passes 3-0 with Councilmember Yu and Mayor Pro Tem Pequeño absent.
Okay. That brings us to the city manager's report.
I have nothing further this evening. Thank you.
Okay, Councilman Serbo.
Thank you, Mayor. So we had a busy Saturday here on the campus. We had our multicultural event that I had an opportunity to spend some time. So that was another second annual version. And sorry to steal Councilmember Teddermer's thunder every time I get to go first on these things, because I know he was here too. But I'll go ahead and just mention that there was a great event we had here. Fantastic work from our staff assembling all the different people. And if you've never seen a walking flamingo on stilts, you're missing out. So that's what was here. Also, the Taylor Swift concert, Taylor Nation, whatever whatever was called there. So Melanie did a fantastic job. Beautiful night in the park there. Another fantastic job from our staff organizing that, and kudos to Ken for picking out a great van for us all to enjoy. And of course, we have our 4th of July parade coming up here on Friday, which I'm looking forward to. But to Captain Pulse's credit in the back, I just want to make sure that he understands that the rumor that we were going to be in the car and we're going to drive that in reverse, because sometimes I like to vocalize and sing, but I am no longer a backup singer. Okay, I'm done. Thank you.
Oh, wow.
How
can we beat that?
Long road to get there, too.
Okay, Councilman Teddemer.
So I also did attend the multicultural event and the concert. Both were great, so thank you for staff and all the good work you did. Also had the pleasure of attending Orange County Fire Authority Academy 61 graduation, so bringing some new firefighters on board, and also the OCFA Fallen Heroes ceremony as well. Both are great events, so thank you to OCFA. That's it, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Obviously, summer is in full swing. We had our first concert, and what a concert it was. It's one of our largest turnouts. I couldn't believe how many people, as I was rolling up, were bringing their young daughters and that, coming to their first concert at the Lake Forest Sports Park to see Taylor Swift. And she came with no wristbands on, but the time the night ended, she had little bracelets going up both of her arms, because I think that's a Taylor Swift thing, that they throw these little bead bracelets out, and she had both arms full. It was a great turnout, great concert, and I just want to say thank you to staff for helping put that together. I think that they did a great job in selecting a Taylor Swift cover band. What was it, Swiftie Nation? And I think that she was a good fit because they brought out so many new people into Lake Forest at our sports park. The multicultural event, second annual, I think that it's going to be better and better every year. So what a great turnout that was. And so those were kind of back-to-back events for us on council, but it also was a back-to-back thing for events in Lake Forest. And so both were good attendance, great attendance at the sports park. And I want to wish everybody a happy Independence Week and a happy Independence Day. Come out on Friday and join us at the parade. A reminder that we're not allowing towels, blankets, and chairs to be put out prior to the Friday. So thank you for clarifying that. But we want to say thank you for your attendance and cheering on, and just thanking the good Lord that we live in the greatest nation on the face of this earth, the United States of America. And so happy 4th of July, everybody. See you at the parade. And until the next council meeting, stay well, stay healthy, and have fun. Close this meeting.